So my name is Anne-Cathrine. I'm from Aarhus University, and for the next... Huh?
We don't have a microphone in this room. It's I'm sorry, but you can come and sit here closer, maybe.
I'll try to speak loud, but yeah. So for the next 10 minutes, I want to tell you a little bit about one of our recent papers where we looked into soil water repellency in natural and semi-natural habitats, and also which properties drive this the degree of soil water repellency. So just a brief introduction to soil water repellency for those who may not be super familiar with that. So soil water repellency refers to the inability of water to wet or infiltrate the soil. It's a dynamic property, so it varies both temporally and spatially. And it's caused by hydrophobic substances that coat the soil particles. But the degree of soil water repellency is affected by a lot of properties, including various soil properties, biological communities, and climate, and so on. So in managed systems or agricultural soils, soil water repellency can have a negative effect on the overall production or yield you can get from your fields. But recent studies have suggested that it might be an adaptive trait that can increase resilience in natural habitats. So some of the things we wanted to look into in the paper was how does soil water repellency vary, both within and among these natural and semi-natural habitats? Is there an association between the prokaryotic communities, so the bacteria and archaea, and soil water repellency? So we know the biological communities affect soil water repellency, but we mostly know the effect of vegetation and fungi, while the prokaryotes are less examined. Furthermore, we wanted to examine which properties could explain the degree of soil water repellency in these habitats. So we collected 1,153 samples from natural and semi-natural habitats. All of the samples are from the topsoil. Then we took a subset of each sample, and then we dried it and sieved it to 2 millimeters, and then we measured total carbon content, electrical conductivity, pH, and calcium chloride, and then potential soil water repellency. And I refer to it as potential soil water repellency because we often dried the samples at 60 degrees before we measured soil water repellency. Another subset of the sample were used to extract and analyze the prokaryotic communities using shallow shotgun metagenomics. And this was done at the Aarhus University by the Microflora Danica group. So looking at the key findings, the first result I want to show you is very basic. We just divided all the samples into these 5 water repellency classes, going from no soil water repellency to extreme soil water repellency. And as you can see from the table, I hope you can see, most of the samples showed some degree of soil water repellency, 77% of the samples. And the largest group was the highly water repellent samples. So looking into the different habitat types, so here we have 33 different habitat types, each violin plot representing one habitat type. And you can see the degree, the variation in soil water repellency within each of these habitat types. So what I want you to notice is that we have a lot of variation, both within the habitat types themselves, but also among the habitat types, comparing them. We only found mild or no soil water repellency in this embryonic shifting dunes, while we saw the opposite for the heathlands and shrubs, where there were consistently high water repellency, but apart from these, it varied quite a lot. So we also looked into the association between soil water repellency and prokaryotic communities, and here you see the range of alpha diversity within these 5 soil water repellency classes, going from no soil water repellency in the dark green to extreme soil water repellency in the red. And we can see that there is a negative correlation. So we have the highest alpha diversity in the non-repellent or only mildly repellent soils, and then the alpha diversity decreases with increasing water repellency. We also looked into the association with the beta diversity or community composition. So here you see an MDS plot, each point representing one sample, and the samples are colored by these 5 soil water repellency classes. And we can see, we don't see clear clustering, but we do see a gradient. So going from the highly repellent soils to the non-repellent soils, suggesting that there is an association with soil water repellency. So lastly, what I want to show you here is that we use the path model analysis to look at the drivers of soil water repellency, which properties could explain the variation that we saw in soil water repellency. And we used the total carbon content, pH, electrical conductivity, and then prokaryotic alpha diversity. And we can see here that TC and pH are the strongest predictors. This model explains approximately 48% of the variation in soil water repellency. We did the same path analysis just using beta diversity instead of alpha diversity. And here we can see that the strongest predictors are now beta diversity and total carbon, and beta diversity comes out as an even stronger driver than total carbon. We can also see that the effect of pH becomes less important, which I believe is because of this correlation between the prokaryotic communities and the pH. So the pH is a big driver of community composition. So there is an association here. And then I just want to finish. I think I did it a little bit too fast. I just want to finish with some take-home messages. So we saw that soil water repellency is widespread. It's the norm in natural and semi-natural habitats, but the degree varies quite a lot. We also saw that soil water repellency is a complex phenomenon, so it's influenced both by soil properties and biological communities. So here I showed you the effect of the prokaryotic communities. And for the prokaryotic communities, we saw that beta diversity was a better explainer. So the who is there is more important than how many. And putting all this together and into the context of soil health. So because soil water repellency might be an adaptation to stress and is strongly linked to the biological communities, we think that this together suggests that it has high potential as a soil health indicator. But then we will need to know what is a healthy degree of soil water repellency. Also, how does this vary between or among habitat types? And we also need to know more about the association between the biological communities and soil water repellency. Yeah, and that was it from me. If you want to look at the paper, you can scan the QR code here and it takes you to the paper. Yeah, thank you.